Hey, how you guys doing? I had another follow-up video. At least I think of it as a follow-up video to the last one, which was the women you don't see. This one is basically going to be called or titled "The Woman She Wants You to See," and it's on the concept of, in today's, I guess you could say, environment. We have a lot of people who like attention, and people who just want to have a certain type of, they want people to perceive them in a certain way that may not necessarily be true. And when you're in the dating scene, one of the things you got to be aware of is you got people who wear a mask, basically. And specifically, we're talking about women in this case. And I think if you really look at society, especially nowadays, there is a very strong desire for women, we'll say modern women, to look a certain way, and they want people to accept the way they look as being good when it's really not. And a good example is you have certain women that they want to go out and sleep around, but they don't want to be labeled a female garden tool. Okay? So they want the ability to be bad, but have the reputation of being good. Okay? They don't want the stigma tied to it, which is ironic because, well, I won't say ironic, I'll say it's interesting, because you have guys who go out there and they sleep around a lot, and the perception is that other guys like the idea of being able to go around and sleeping around with a bunch of women. And in some regards that may be true. However, I think from a man's perspective, a lot of men don't necessarily like the idea of a man. They like the concept of it, I guess you could say. But I think most men, and you guys, let me know in the comments, they don't really necessarily like the concept of sleeping around with a bunch of women, hurting a bunch of women, being a dog and stuff like that. I think there's a certain respect that men have for guys who can't do that. All right, and if you're a man, I'm sure you understand what I mean by that. And right now it seems like the respect of men, men having respect for other men seems to be lacking nowadays. But back in the day, at least from my perception, a man would respect another man based on what he did and what he contributed to the community. So if you was a mechanic, you had a respectable basically job. Mechanic, electrician, plumber, anything you did that was taking care of your family is basically respected. If you were, you're a strong guy, you can pick up a lot of weight, that's respected. If you're a leader over a company, that's respected. But taking care of business on some level and not really being selfish was a respectable job. Okay, so a respectable job, respectable skill. So in essence, you have a guy who can just go around and sleep with a bunch of women, the act of sleeping around with a bunch of women wasn't necessarily respected, okay? Because most of those guys, those men, are not going to want that dude to be messing around with their sister, okay? And, or some woman that they know or they are interested in. But the ability for that man to be able to do that was respected, okay? It probably, I don't know if that makes sense it probably don't make sense to a lot of women, but as a guy, I would think you'd probably understand what I'm saying. All right, so the act of actually going out there and getting a woman is not really respected because it's something you don't want somebody you care for to experience. But the ability for a man to be able to do that, which would be perceived as a strength, would be respected. All right. So women who are hidden, all right, you have certain women who basically they don't like the idea, they don't like the idea of being looked at as bad, okay? But you have some people who don't want to, they don't want to pay the cost of being bad. They want, basically any human being on the planet wants. You want to be able to do whatever you want to do with no consequences, all right? Whereas men, we don't have that luxury. Women, for some particular reason, well, I think it's based on traditional women. Traditionally, women were just basically good. And that goodness is what basically made women world changers, for lack of a better word or expression. Because a woman, of her virtue being good, she could literally, her voice was based off of who she was as a person. All right. And you have a lot of women that don't believe that women have power. But literally, a woman who was really good natured can actually change a man to be a better man based on who she was, because her support, her love, and her wisdom as a woman can actually make a man change to get that support. And it's even in the Bible, honestly. But that traditional mindset or traditional vision of a woman is still very impactful for men. However, I don't think modern women know how they still want that power, or that they still want that image to be in a man's head about women. However, the women nowadays don't want to follow all the rules associated with that image. And so now men being logical, either a good woman or you're not. All right. But a man is going to basically see you as you act. Whatever you do is going to be how that man perceives you and treats you. And there are women who can't. They want the past image, but they don't want to follow all the rules associated with it. And so hopefully that makes sense. And but it goes along the lines of what I'm trying to tell you now, is you have a lot of women, they want you to have a certain perception about them, irregardless of how they actually act. And you as a man have to be aware that there are some women out there like this. Alright? Now, I won't say, I think you have multiple types of women. You have some women who like that image because they saw it in the past, but they also have they have a sexual addiction, or they have that desire for attention. So their deception is based on something that they still need to work on in their life. And then you have certain women who are, that deception is based on the pure desire for them to deceive a man. And these are the women that'll, I guess I have to be a little careful with it, because you have certain women that put you in the friend zone. But they'll put you in the friend zone because they want to abuse you. But then you have women who put you in the friend zone because they need you, and they don't know they need you, and they don't know they really need you. You're probably the best man or type of man for them, but they have a mindset of what a man is, and you don't meet their mindset. They need you because they need somebody to listen to, they need somebody, a shoulder to cry on, they need support in certain areas. But they don't realize that you are basically being a husband, a form of a husband to them. However, they're still acting in the role as a daughter. The daughters basically need fathers. And the father serves as that role of protection for them. He's the one that tells her she's beautiful, or the first one that tells her she's beautiful. He's the one that protects her from guys. He's the one that tells her this is the guy you need. You know what I'm saying? As versus the guy she wants. And he gives her more of a foundation. And I think even this role as being in the friend zone, and there's probably a lot of women that will probably disagree with me, but this is just based on my opinion, all right? And it's okay if you want to disagree with it. But as a man, that's just kind of my way of interpreting it, is that especially a woman who has never been raised with a father. If you've never been raised with a father, I don't think that woman is going to be qualified to tell a man or to distinguish between a man's role and a father's role if she's never seen it. Alright? Just putting it out there like that. And so when she goes into a relationship, she don't necessarily know what a man is to her and what she needs. Especially, I think anybody in life, they inherently know there are certain things they need in life, but they may not know who they're supposed to get it from. And so a guy in the friend zone may actually be playing more of a father role, and in actual reality, he is kind of playing a father role to a degree. He's playing more like a stepfather role. He's playing the role of a man that has no power in her life, but is able to provide things that she needs. All right, and that's how a kid does. A kid that has a step parent kind of, I think, looks at as a stepfather, as a parent that they can get everything, a lot of things that they need from, but they don't necessarily have to have respect for that person or respect the authority of that person. And so in the same way, that's how women treat men that they have in a friend zone. They have a element of respect to a degree, but it's more based on a need, because they need that man to be, or that guy to be in that position to provide that support. All right. But you as a man got to be able to recognize a woman who's putting you in that role. And honestly, for today's day and age, sorry, I kind of got my attention as a dude parachuting or paragliding. you got to realize that that doesn't necessarily make the woman bad. She's just not for you, basically. You really, at this day and age in 2024, basically, it is not worth a man's time to, not anymore, to settle for a woman who basically doesn't know what a man is. Alright, that's just to put it plain and simple. A lot of modern women don't know what a man is, they don't know what he does, and you really don't have the time to teach her. Alright. Now there are certain women that may be worth your time. Alright. But to find that type of woman, it might be worth your time, but she's got to already have her head on straight. She's already got to be interested in you as a man. She's got to be teachable, and she's got to be basically dedicated to you. You know, and she's already kind of got to know who she is. You're just going to be the one that's doing the fine tuning, so to speak. All right. That situation, you'd be good. Any other situation, not worth your time. All right. But that's going to also require you to kind of know people a little bit more, which is, and, you know, increase your discernment, which is part of the reason I have I'm doing these videos. It's kind of teaching things that I've seen from a nice guy point of view, so that you won't run into certain things that I think are going to be common to most men who have good intentions. All right. The idea is to give you ways to protect yourself before you get in a situation where you have to protect yourself. You know, it's always good to learn from your mistakes in life and go through things. However, in my opinion, it's better to learn from somebody else's mistakes rather than to go and bump your head yourself. Somebody says, "Hey, that's a low door frame. You know, if you walk in there, you're gonna bump your head." I'd rather listen to that person and duck than go in there and hit the door myself. All right. So that's just me, in my opinion. Certain women are basically chameleons by situation, or they're chameleons by intention. And the women that are chameleons by intention are the most dangerous, because they're the ones that are going to let you think they want you to think that they like you, or you have a chance. But they're only going to be giving you like little bitty breadcrumbs. Oh, I need you, and all this other stuff. But they actually got another boyfriend or a man somewhere else. And that man is who they're actually giving their money to, their time to, their heart to, and everything else. But they want you to see somebody who's interested in them. They also want you to see the best part of them. And as a nice guy, a lot of times we are less judgmental than other men, you know. So in reality, as a nice guy, you're able to give women that most other men will not give another chance a chance. The problem is a lot of these women in that situation, they're been so hurt, so disrespected, that they can't see a good opportunity because of that hurt and that pain. So what a lot of those women will do is they will use your innocence as a means to exact the revenge that they can't exact on the men that they actually chase after the most of the time. All right. So you end up being punished for the actions of another man. And this woman, she may think that she's all strong, she's all big and bad, but really, she's scared. To me, and you have some women that are not, and they're even more dangerous than other people. But these women are people you need to watch out for, because they are basically dangerous. So they have bad intentions. They don't have good hearts. They've been hurt, and it just beseeches you to let them alone. Identify them and don't entertain them. A lot of times they're going to be attractive, but in certain ways, I think they're going to be outspoken. They will talk and they will try to lead you before you even make a decision about whether you even like them or not. They're going to try to lead you. All right. They're going to try to direct you where they want you to go, instead of you just being the leader and them basically just submitting wherever you go. All right. They will manipulate you. They will be the ones that are trying to get money out of you. They will try to get things out of you, and they will not really try to reciprocate. They're not going to try to do anything to kind of balance the friendship. But they want you to see them. They get off on you. So now, every other man that they know of may actually see them as a female garden tool. All right? But there's something about a man that has respect for a woman that I think they really like that. They like the idea of somebody who sees them in a light that other men don't see them, I think. And so I'll probably just go down on this one. This is a interesting topic, but it was kind of off the top of my head. But I wanted to share that there are certain women, they have they want you to see them in a good light when they actually aren't. And so you may have to do a little bit of investigative, into their whatever they got as far as on social media, and make sure you don't get caught up in that stuff. But this is what happens when nice guys retaliate. Hope you guys take care. If you got any questions or whatever, or just any other thoughts on it, or experiences that you want to share with the group, make sure you put it in the comments. And like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys later.